I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Hiroki. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Here to make war, we surrender. False good, important things are giving you people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That's easy. You're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Deep Space Nine Wednesday for February 24th, 2021. Today we are watching Season 4, Episode 24, The Quickening. The Quickening. It's an episode where Dr. Bashir feels morally compelled to cure a bioweapon used by the Dominion against some random planet in the Gamma Quadrant. And more funly, Quark decides to reprogram the replicators of the station to advertise Quark's bar. I don't know. The Quickening plot was never one of the more interesting plots for me. It's not a terrible episode by any means, but it is, if you had to split the season in the top half and bottom half episodes, I'm pretty sure this would be a bottom half of the season, especially since season 4 is just such an awesome season. In fact, all the seasons are pretty awesome from here on out. But it's still an episode worth watching, so I'm glad you guys are here. Today's episode was directed by Odo, a.k.a. Rene Auberjonois. So I'm wondering, and I don't remember, but I wonder if he wasn't in the episode too much because he was busy directing. I guess we'll keep an eye out for him. We'll see how much Odo's in the episode, or if he was busy directing and not in it too much. Dan23 says, this is not an action-packed episode. No, it is not an action-packed episode. Actor says, no, I had hope that since it's called The Quickening, we will have an episode full of fights, beheadings, and with swords, ending with Rom victoriously shouting, "There can be only one." Not this episode. Actor says, with Queen playing in the background. Oh, jeez. We are the champions. Those are the losers. Oh, no, I don't see it happening. Dan says, no, it's Dr. Bashier episode with a disease on a planet. Actor says, bugger me. Captain Trax is late. Birdo Prey is late. No, not only am I not late, I'm an hour early because I set this originally for 5 p.m. Eastern. And then I realized I could do it at 4 p.m. Eastern. So I brought the time up by an hour, with plenty of notice. Not Ryan Johnson says, hello in Qapla, hail Karoga. Resolute Germs says, Bird of Prey is not late, the stream is on Karogan time. Rock Solid Production says, hashtag Bird's late, hashtag cancel Bird, hashtag cancel YouTube Premium, hashtag cancel Muppets, hashtag cancel Disney Plus, hashtag cancel Karoga, hashtag #, hashtag we love Thomas Potts, hashtag hail on Karoga, and hashtag hail Bunnyland. Actor says, why the Muppets? I don't know because they were being canceled. Monty's Folly, Qapla Monty says, Bird of Prey, hail sir. I've just had my COVID vaccine and I'm feeling a little nauseous, but otherwise okay. I hope you have a good day, sir. Thank you, Monty. I appreciate it. I hope you feel better soon. The fact that you're feeling a little sick just means that the vaccine is working. And Monty also says, Bird of Prey, cool. You're going to be early. Yes, I am. Hector says, well, if he had started without announcing it, then yes, early. But now if he starts at 4 sharp, it would be right on time. And Dan laughed. Captain Track says, Bird of Prey moved up the start time by 55 minutes. Now he really will be late. Dee Dee Meyer says, Qapla to all in the chat. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. And welcome, Dee Dee. And Dee Dee says, Qapla, Bird of Prey, how are you and the family doing today? Dee Dee, if it's not one thing, it's another. We realized this morning, Mama Prey trying to make some warm and then hot water, that the water heater is no longer working properly. So I had a plumber over already today, and basically we got to replace the water heater. So you guys who were watching on Captain Track's stream the other day, my neighbor got her water heater replaced 2 days ago, maybe. And now it's my turn. So tomorrow they got to replace my water heater. They want to replace one of the pipes going to the water heater and the vent pipe. So it's going to be, it's just going to be another expense, and we're going to have to shut the water off for a short time tomorrow while they do that, which isn't the biggest problem for me personally, but I'm sure it's an annoyance to Mama Prey. But it's just another thing we trying to catch up. This has been a tough month. If it's not one thing, it's another. On the good side, on the plus side, I've been on the antibiotics now over a full day, and it seems to be okay. The expected minor side effects, but none of the serious ones so far. So knocking wood, and hopefully things are going well. Certainly not getting any worse, the infection. So keeping fingers crossed, and hopefully we'll be good in a couple days or within a few days. Joseph Patrick says, greetings from the future. Greetings, Joseph. And I wanted to thank Professor Brainy Specs for following me on Twitter earlier. Yes, I saw. Mike Richards says, welcome to Deep Space Nine. Your papers, please. Bradley Briggs says, zup, y'all. Welcome, Bradley. Where are we? John DeMarco says, greetings, John. Commodore Ty says, hello all. Qapla, Commodore. Hector says, hola, todos. Hola, Hector. Bradley Briggs says, it's called The Quickening because every second you are wishing the episode will end quicker. And to that effect, I guess of all the episodes I could have done this with, this was the wrong one in hindsight. But I had so many complaints about last week's episode going too quick that I went up and I used the new source for this episode instead of for the 5th season like I was planning. So this episode should run damn near identical in length of time to the same copies that are on Hulu, CBS All Access, Netflix, and Amazon Prime. So yeah, this will be about a minute and a half longer than the other copy would have been. Although there's no added content, it should just run a bit slower. So hopefully when you see it, the quality is a little bit better. I think the quality is a lot better personally of the video, but assuming you're watching it in the streaming room, but it should also, if you're watching your own copy, it should more easily sync up. And Arabic Sonder is now following me on Twitter. Thank you so much, Arabic Sonder. My name on Twitter is, of course, just BirdoPray5, just as it is on YouTube. This particular stream is not being rebroadcast to Twitter, but many of my other streams do get rebroadcast to Twitter these days. And Twitter actually does send an email when somebody goes live, so it's a great way to get notifications, even if you don't watch on Twitter. Eastland Burkholder says, and the God Emperor of Kuroger is always right on time. Thank you, Eastland. And Ram with a broadsword. Yes, I approve, says Eastland. Monty's Folly says, Bird of Prey, thank you. I'm going to watch the show and go to bed and take the day off tomorrow. Well, good for you, Monty. I hope you feel better. Eastland says, Bradley, Twitch. What did I say? Did I say something besides Twitch? Did I say Twitter? Damn it, I meant Twitch. Yes, Twitch actually sends you email notifications, not Twitter. They're too close in my mind. I will, like Moxley and Monty, like Andrea and Alexander, Twitch and Twitter will always be confused in my head. So Eastland says, Bradley, my favorite episode, they are overly earnest. The tone is off. John DeMarco, not one of his favorite episodes. They're overly earnest and the tone is off. John DeMarco says, well, we watched an exciting episode of Sequest last night. Featured the rescue of several orphans from what was clearly Kuroga. I see. And was the dolphin involved? Moxley fans says, Bird of Prey, Qapla, Bird, and you all, Qapla, Moxley. Monty's Folly says, Moxley, hail, sir. Rock Solid says, Bird of Prey, have you a hot water heater? We have a water heater that turns our cold water into hot water. Joseph Patrick says, you had a plumber over. I thought he died. Ha, 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 ha. And I did see Steve Shive's video on General Chang, aka Chris Plummer, and I will give credit where credit is due. Steve Shive seems to have left the politics out of that particular video, so I think I even gave him a thumbs up. Now, grant you, it was not on my main channel because it was not enough for me to unblock him. But on the Birdo Prey 5X channel, I think I gave him a thumbs up on that video. And I'm not saying that everybody should rush over by any means and watch this Steve Shive video, but this particular Steve Shive's video, a tribute to Chris Plummer, also called Why General Chang is Actually His Favorite Klingon, was a pretty good trek, actually, and reminded me of his videos of years past, why I originally subscribed to him. Agder says, Bird of Prey, We Are the Champions wasn't in Highlander. I wouldn't know. Rock Solid says, Bird of Prey, isn't that redundant? Why are you trying to heat hot water with a hot water heater? Well, that's what I said. We have a water heater that makes water hot. Bradley Briggs says you don't have to replace water heaters to fix them. There are many parts that are replaceable and easy to replace. That plumber is ripping you off. Yes, but the water heater is 9 years old already. And this particular brand of water heater generally lasts 8 to 12 years. So we could have replaced the part, but then more than likely within 6 months or a year, another part would have broken, and then another part, and then we might as well have just replaced the whole thing. Eastland says, did you get a tankless heater? No, the difference in temperature between the cold water that comes out of the wall to the temperature we'd want the water, it's just too much. It's just too much. I'd need 2 tankless systems for it to work well, and I would waste a hell of a lot of water. A hell of a lot of water, because we don't use hot water all that long. It's not like somebody goes in the shower to take 1-hour showers anymore. Most of the hot water is just for washing hands and dishes and stuff off. It's by the time the water runs through, it would have wasted gallons and gallons of water. So Ethan said, yeah, did you get, you have no idea how funny it sounds to hear you say hot water heater. It's not how we say that in the Deep South. The vowels are very different. Friendly teasing. Rock Solid says, hashtag Dear Bop. That's not happening today. Monty's Folly says, Bradley Briggs, I was thinking of that. Short of regulator or tank, it's quite easy to service unless it's up to standards. And getting decommissioned is happening to my folks last year. It's just, if it was 4 or 5 years old, then sure. But this has already lived past its warranty. Yeah, and Mamo Prey can't replace parts on her own, so we have to have the plumber do it either way. So if he's going to put in an hour of work to replace one part, he might as well put in the 2 or 3 hours to replace the entire thing. Eastland says, yes, Bradley, tell him you want the tank to make a sci-fi prop. Your leisure to get it took over. No, they're going to have to take the tank with them. Eastland says, silly, not complaining about sync. Rock Solid says, Bird of Prey on Twitter or Twitch? Twitch. You know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. Rock Solid says, I don't watch Bird of Prey on Twitter. I have never watched Bird of Prey on Twitch. I have watched Bird of Prey on Twitch, so you know what I mean. Actor says, Itzland. Did I say Itzland? Eastland says, hard water will cake up and the heating element might die. With the time and possibly second visit, replacing the tank is often cheaper, but I would not let the plumber take the tank. Well, we don't want the tank here. We can't do anything with the tank. So he's welcome to take the tank. Commodore Ty says, a bad DS9 episode is still better than a good episode of Discovery. Abso-frickin-lutely. And I'm not saying it's a bad DS9 episode. I'm just saying it's not an above average episode of DS9. Eastland agreed with Commodore Ty. John DeMarco says, of course, the dolphin was involved. Darwin was the most important part of the operation. Eastland says, yes, the dolphin is part of this episode. Hector puts in some waves and a dolphin and some more waves. Commodore Ty says, I have gone up 4 subs since yesterday, getting close to 250 in 100 days. Congratulations, Commodore. Rock Solid says, Commodore Ty, I shared it to my feed. Very cool. Joseph says, I showered before the stream. He's squeaky clean. Good for you. Monty's Folly says, Commodore Ty, link me to your channel. I'll subscribe before I put my account into freeze mode. And Commodore Ty says, thank you to Rock Solid. Monty says, hail to Joseph. And Commodore Ty put in his channel. Very cool. Actor says, squeaky like a dolphin, Joseph. Easlin says, it's often quicker to fix than to replace. It's often quicker to fix than to replace the tank in and out. I guess it depends on how much fixing. Monty's Folly says, done to Commodore Ty. Actor says, did I say Itzland? Itzland says. Did I say Itzland? Joseph says hello to Monty. Commodore Ty says thank you to Monty. John DeMarco says, I think this isn't a bad episode. Never said it was bad. Easlin says it's not a pew episode. This is true. Bradley Briggs says an $8 part probably broke and you're replacing the entire hot water heater. It's a gas flow valve, so it probably is an $8 part, but then $100 on labor for him to replace it. And okay, I will grant you that's a small fraction of the total cost to replace the tank. But like if it's $100 today and then $200 next time and $400 the time after that. Yeah, it was $85 just for him to walk in the door, so it adds up. Monty says, Bird of Prey, fair enough, but make the tank is take the tank if it's copper. When I'm driving around, I see a heater, I stop and put it in the lady. Yeah, but I can't. We don't have any way of doing that, Monty. No one here can pick up a tank, put it into the back of their truck and drive it to be melted down or drive it to be recycled. If right. So if he can just take it out of here and take it with him, we'll be very happy. That's all we want. We just need it gone. If I was walking, this wouldn't be an issue, right? You wouldn't even know it was happening because I wouldn't even bring it up. But this is a different life we have here. What's easy for most people is not easy for us. Mamo Prey is still talking about how the time she fixed her refrigerator. I got the parts and told her how to fix it, and she fixed it. Anyway, let's go ahead and start watching this episode. So if you have your own copy, this is season 4, episode 24, sometimes incorrectly labeled as episode 23. It is called The Quickening. And if you have your own copy on Netflix or Hulu or your own DVD or Amazon Prime or CBS All Access, then go ahead and queue it up. If you have your own DVD, that works too. Otherwise, head to the screening room. The address is at the bottom of the YouTube video, vertoprey5.com/SR. And I will get it ready to play there. And we will get it ready to play on YouTube. Now, if you can't watch it in the screening room, then of course you can watch screenshots here on YouTube. You'll get a screenshot about every 10 seconds, so you can figure out where we are in the episode. And if you want me to read the chat, please go ahead and put @BertoPrey5 in the chat, and I will do my best to read it. Okay, so counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Looks
like you used some kind of encryption program to bypass the access protocols.
Brian is saying it looks like you used some type of encryption protocol to bypass the security. Oh, and there's Odo right away. He brought Quark in. And they're saying, engage monitor. Oh, I gotta kill the audio. Gotta kill the desktop audio. So the replicator is saying Quark, Quark, Quark. Odo says tampering with the system's comm system is a class 3 offense. Quark is saying it's just advertising. He didn't put one in ops. And there's Worf, and he's like, you! And he points at Quark. He's like, how did you do it? He ordered a glass of prune juice from the replicator in a Defiant's mess. And he came into Quark's is fun. It's a singing cup. And Kira says if all of his little advertisements aren't purged from their systems by the time she gets back from the Gamma Quadrant, she's going to come to Quark's and she's going to have fun. So Quark says, oh, let him help him with that. He's going to help the chief. Thank you, Mike Richards. I got that taken care of. So Dax and Bashir and Kira are all in the runabout. They're doing a scan of the Gamma Quadrant. And Bashir is saying, oh, there's a million points of light out there in the great unknown. Kira wants to just get home. Bashir is like, is it his imagination of the stars a little brighter in the Gamma Quadrant? Dax says, is it her imagination or is Bashir losing his mind? Kira is setting course for some planet. Resolute says that cup would be great to buy. I'm surprised they didn't sell it. They're getting an emergency signal, homeworld attack, massive casualties. Asking any passing vessels for assistance. Apparently it's just outside Dominion space. So Kira says they hope the Jem'Hadar know that, so they set course. So Bashir and Dax beam down. I guess Kira is staying on the runabout. And they've beamed down into a city that looks like it's been attacked. Certainly it's seen better days. A bunch of kids are running around. People are ignoring the fact that there's these two strangers walking around in uniforms, carrying phasers. Okay, now at least a few people are looking at them. They all have these marks on their face. Monty's Folly says that's matte painting for the city was good. That matte painting for the city was good, yes. So Bashir asks what happened here, and some sickly looking woman is coming up to them and begging for help. She's, help me, I don't want to die here. Take me to Trevian. Dax will try to find out where that is. Bashir's giving her something for the pain. Some guy just bent down and says, you're not from this world. And he's saying the blight is quickening. There's nothing you can do. And he's telling Bashir to leave now. Forget about this place. I mean, maybe I'd be concerned if everybody on a planet had this illness that I wasn't just exposed myself. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Welcome, Bee's Nest. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Dun da dun da 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 dun da 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 dun da da dun dun da dun 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 da 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 do 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 do. Okay, I'm pausing it slightly on the streaming room so that we can get back in sync with the pictures on YouTube. Okay. So Bashir is saying the painkiller isn't having much effect, that their biology is so different than theirs, they doubt they're in any danger. Dax says he's got a ride to the hospital. He says, oh, these weren't the friendliest people, because he met one person and he's judging the whole society based off of one guy. Monty says, it always amazes me that alien species they encounter at random never have a bad reaction to meds in the hypo spray. And Rock Solid says, Bird of Prey, thankfully we have the real Dax in this video, not that imposter Ezri. And they're saying, oh, you're from another world. He says, don't sweat it. We'll take care of her now. And Dax says she hasn't seen a single person who doesn't have lesions on their face. But now these are turned red. They're bright red lesions now. Trevian, thank you, he says, for this. Trevian says you deserve nothing less. Yesterday when he woke up, he had saw that it finally happened, that it had quickened. He always thought he'd be afraid, but he wasn't, because he knew he could come there. Last night he slept in a bed for the first time in his life. He fell asleep listening to music. This morning he bathed in hot water and dressed in clean clothes. Now he's here with his friends and loved ones. Thank you for making this day everything he dreamed it could be. Maybe if you were dressing in clean clothes and bathing, you wouldn't have woken up with lesions to begin with. I'm just saying. It's a possibility. And so he says, you brought Nuver here, and it was too late for her. He says, if she had come sooner, I could have helped. And he said, I thought you said you could have helped. There's no treatment, he said. They're asking why he's there. She said, we received a distress signal. I'm a doctor, says Bashier. She has sophisticated diagnostic treatment. He said, we had sophisticated diagnostic treatment once. Do you think our world was always this way? 2 centuries ago, we traveled to neighboring worlds, built vast cities, believed nothing was beyond our abilities. We thought we could resist the dominion. He says, take care not to defy them, or your people will bear the same price we did. The Jem'Hadar destroyed their world as an example to others. Bring her Melania's child. That more than anything, he wanted his people to bear the mark of their defiance. little babies. They brought us the blight. They're all born with it, and they all die from it. When the blight quickens, the things turn red. Death soon follows. Some in childhood, most before they have children of their own. Only a few live to be his age. And Bashir says, tell us what you know about the blight. We may be able to help. He says, no, you should go. Did Jem'Hadar find you here? Dax says we're willing to take that risk. Well, maybe they're not willing to take that risk. And Bashir runs over trying to help the guy. And they're telling him, of course he's dying. He came here to die. People come here to quicken. They want to die peacefully, surrounded by family and friends. It's hospice care. I don't understand why it's so hard to understand. He poisons them. It causes death within minutes. It says the blight kills slowly. Nobody wants to die painfully, suffer needlessly. And Bashir said, you killed him. He said, I did what she asked. He said, I thought this was a hospital. I thought you were a healer. He says, I am. I take away pain. Now you've disrupted this. I got to ask you to leave. Get the hell out of here, strangers. Hello, young sir. Qapla, 47 Yorktown. Oh. So what do you guys think? Does this episode sound better? Does it look any better to you from last episode? Hopefully it at least sounds better. So Dax found the distress beacon. It's got its own power source. It's been repeating the same message for over 200 years. Bashier says there's nothing for us to do here. We should go. Absolutely. The smartest decision he ever made. Some lady asked, are you really a doctor? She said she never met a doctor. They say there's a woman somewhere who made a medicine who makes people withstand the quickening, so they can live longer. She's not due for another 2 months. And she's like, we never know when the quickening will come. His name is Julian. Her name is Igoria. And Jadzia says, hello? Did you come here to help us? He says, nobody seems to want our help. She says, I want your help. And I know others who would welcome it too. And now Kira picked up 2 Jem'Hadar ships headed that way. Well, I guess you guys are going to have to help yourself. And they're going to have to leave. Oh, no, of course not. Because they're the good guys. Oh, they did beam up. There were patrols. So Kira says we better go. And Bashir says, no, we can't just leave. He says they need help. And Kira says as soon as we get back, we'll notify Starfleet. They'll put together a relief mission. Bashir said that could take weeks or months. Says remember this plague on some other planet. It took them 1 hour to figure out what it was and 3 days to dose the entire population. They might be able to do the same thing here. Kira says it's worth a try, but we can't resist the Jem'Hadar detecting the runabout. So Bashir says take it to some nebula and come back for us in a week. With any luck, we'll have a cure by then. So he's going to cure this in a week. What the hell is Kira supposed to do alone on a runabout for a week? I mean, let her take it back to DS9. That's some ridiculousness. You're going to leave me all alone in some stupid nebula for a week while you two go prancing around down there trying to make a cure? Not even sure if you can eat the native food? Robert Rose, Qapla today, Birdo Prey, Mo Prey, and Sassy. Good luck with the composed Krogan President-elect Biden. And Aravic Sonder followed me on the Twitch. Thank you, Aravic. Says lady, sorry she couldn't offer them more. Whatever they need to access. Did you do this? Her husband made it. He died last winter. It's what he imagined the world used to be like. He painted a mural similar on a building. He wanted to show people the way things were. You know, the way things used to be. Hail Garoga, Carlo. Complete biospectral analysis. He needs blood. Yeah. Just have a seat. The doctor will be with her in a moment. And she says, they love to keep you waiting. It makes them feel important. And he's like, how would you like to see a picture of your baby? How does she even know what to do? So apparently the medical tricorder is also able to do sonograms. That's convenient. So Dax and Bashir are busy doing sciencey work while this lady is doing her best to not fall over while she's pregnant. And Bashir found the cause. So they've isolated the virus. He's like, is that a good thing? Yes, it means they can start analyzing it and create an antigen. Dax says, yes, it's a very good thing. He's going to start mapping nucleotides. Dax is going to run a protein sequence. So they're going to have an mRNA vaccine in a few minutes. Oh. She hopes they're hungry. He says they're starving. She says it looks like a feast. She says it was supposed to be. She says nothing. Do you like the Kara root tea? They've never had it. We've never been to your planet, you stupid idiot. I'm kidding. But she's like, Nicoria, tell me, where'd you get all this food? She's been saving it for the hospital, for her death. But something tells me she's not going to need it anymore. So Bashier needs somebody who's quickened to make the cure. It helps her chart the virus. And he says he sees the blight has spared him. Doesn't like the taste of blood. So he says, what if I told you there was a chance you didn't have to die? I'm a doctor, says Bashir. He says, don't tell me you have the cure. He says he's working on one. Then what will it cost me? A good cup? And he says, it's not going to cost you anything. And the lady saying, he can help us. Listen to him. He needs volunteers. People have quickened. He's like, what we do? See how loud we scream? No, he has medicines that can dull the pain. He has equipment unlike anything on this world. He can fix that arm so you can play with your friends. He's not going to hurt him. So there's this kid with a broken arm. And he's just going to fix it like magic. He's gonna give him a pill. He's like, Doctor grew a new kidney. He's got a fracture. He bet it hurts. He's gonna do a little basic bone regeneration. And he's gonna show off the miracle of modern medicine. And, oh my God, the kid's arm is all better. Yay, he can play ball again. He can play with his friends. The guy's like, how did you do that? She's like, it doesn't matter. He can find a cure if we help him. The smart guy says fixing a broken bone and curing a blight are two different things. Others have come here with promises of a cure. Stirred up hope. Took food and clothing in exchange for their elixirs. Their promises was always lies. And all those who believed came to him in the end begging for release. He's like, I'm not making any promises. I just want to do what I can to help. He says, take care that you don't. We've dealt with people who've given false hope before. Their deaths make the blight look like a blessing. Figure they're probably Ferengi. Robert Rose Jr. says, Bird of Prey, are you the father, though? You can find out on the Maury show. Bradley Briggs says, Bird of Prey, quick question. What happened to the rule they used to have that they didn't allow them to interfere with the natural progression of other alien species? You mean the Prime Directive? Yeah, that's a good question. Possibly that this species was at one time a post-warp civilization. It really doesn't make sense that they can just come down. They certainly don't seem to be a post-warp civilization now, although they did know about other species. Now, how did they know about other species? Oh, I guess because they were sending a subspace distress signal. So I guess the fact that they could send a subspace distress signal pretty much meant that they were at least at one time, a space-going society. So they knew about warp travel. I know it's not the best answer, but that's the best I can come up with. So she's asking if they could tell her what the baby's going to look like when he grows up. He says not really. Rock Solid says, Bird of Prey, how is this episode not a violation of Prime Directive? I just told you. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I could understand. They did get the distress signal on subspace. Dax says there's some people who'd like to see Julian, including the Quicken guy. So now he can start sucking their blood out. Says, I suppose you're going to want to bleed me. He says, a little, yeah. He canceled his death for him. He was really looking forward to it. Don't make his death be in vain, Julian. No pressure. Eastland says, Bird is not a space lawyer. Everybody gets 3 milligrams, including the woman. Rock Solid says, but if this is not a violation of the Prime Directive, Bird of Prey, then have people who suffer from the quickening at least seen Groundhog Day. Son of a bitch. She's given the guy something to dull the pain. He says he likes Dax's spots. He says, you told me that yesterday. He says, I still like him. Hint, hint, he wants to see where they stop. And the man's dying, Dax. It's the least you could do. He stopped responding to the torture scene. He's in an inhibitor field. Bashir says, think of it. She could well be holding the cure in her hands. Do you think we should tell her what she's giving them? And Dax says, no, she's nervous enough about using the hypo. Rock Solid will take a bow for that one. Dax says, take a break. You've been working nonstop for days. Kira's going to be coming here any day to beam us up. Assuming she ever comes back from the nebula we sent her to go sit around in alone for a week. I mean, isn't Deep Space Nine expecting them to come back? Something's up another 12%. He says that's great news. She's always trusted him. She's trusted him from the start. She doesn't know why. Bashier says it's his bedside manner. Says doctors and nurses are supposed to project an air of competence. He says she was doing well. She's very good with patients. She said she was just trying to be kind. Rock Solid, yeah, I read that. He says, doesn't it bother him? He says sometimes he prefers to confront mortality than hide from it. It's like you're chasing death off, making him wait another day. She says, but death comes to everyone eventually. He says, except Qapla. She's like, Kuka what? His first patient. His teddy bear. She's like, what's a teddy bear? It's like, it's a soft puppet. What's a puppet? And when I was a little boy, he took him everywhere he went. Till eventually his leg fell off, his stuffing fell out. His mother was going to throw him out, but at the tender age of 5, he performed his first surgery. He restuffed him, sewn his leg closed. And from that day on, he did everything to keep Kukalaka in one piece. Sewn and restitched and repatched every square inch of the bear. It's like, why were you so determined? He said he wouldn't be much of a doctor if he gave up on a patient. Where's Kukalaka now? He says, oh, in a closet somewhere. He's not. On a shelf in his room. Is that the bear that Lita steals? Something's wrong. The guy's dying. He's suffering too. Uh-oh. So much for your cure. She's giving him another spray. Something's causing the virus to mutate. Could it be a virus, a reaction to the antigen? He says, help me, Bashir. Yes, he's trying to help you. He's trying to help you. Like, my God. It's the EM fields from his instruments. Shut everything down. Shut down the EM fields. Oh my God. It was the 5G. The 5G got him. Oh, the effect was cumulative. Give everybody 4 milligrams of cortisone. And Resolute says it is the same bear. And John DeMarco says, yes, the same bear. Oh, the whole tent. His heart stopped. They're all dying. They're all dying. Why are you trying to pump his heart? Let the suffering end. Rock Odds is bird of prey, so this is what the New World Order got the idea for COVID-19. Basically, Dax finally stops them. Resolute says Star Trek predicted 5G. And now the guy has come in. He's like, what have you done? And now she's asking the other guy for help. Just poison her and let her die. Oh, she's yelling for Julian. Oh, he's just euthanizing the patients. They're all calling his name to help him. Release, release. Ah, poor Bashir. And the sun rises another day. He remembers running a hematology scan on some guy the other day. A lot of body bags. There were changes in the viral base pair sequence. But he didn't know why. Dax is saying there's no way you could have known it was because of our instruments. You should have put it together. Dax is saying it's not fair. He's saying, isn't it? I'm going to tell him a little secret, Jadzia. He was looking forward to tomorrow, to seeing Kira, and casually asking how was the nebula, and saying, oh, by the way, I cured that blight thing those people had. She says, it's not a crime to believe in yourself, Julian. He says, these people believed in me, and look where it got them. You're a terrible doctor. She's like, Trivian was right. There is no cure. The Dominion made sure of it. And he was so arrogant, he thought he could find one in a week. This is the speech I remember. She says, maybe it was arrogant to think that, but it's more arrogant to think that there is no cure just because you couldn't find it in a week. And that's some real truth there from Dax. Even though this whole crummy episode, that's the one line I always remembered. Was Dax saying it was more arrogant to think there is no cure because you couldn't find it in a week. Of course, everybody outside is just spitting on Bashir's, like, you're such a disgusting person. How dare you try to help us? And you're clearly a loser. Oh, Agoria, the blight has started on her. She thought she'd make it. She really did. He's sorry. Says, don't be. You gave me hope. She hasn't felt that since before her husband died. Oh, she gives him a kiss. Hope it's not, communicative. She's like, goodbye. He's like, no, wait. Wait. Rock's odds is better pray. Half down Dax is the best Dax. So Bashir's going to stay there. And when he's ready, contact the station. They'll have a runabout in days. Dax says what worries is that without her, he won't have anyone to translate for him. She's not going to stay with him, mind you. She says, good luck. So they're leaving their senior doctor behind. It seems like a bad idea. John DeMarco says this is great character development for Bashier. Roxanne says half down Dax. Go read that again. Bird of Prey, half down. Oh, hair down. Hair down Dax is the best Dax. You're right. Hair down Dax is the best Dax. So you're saying there's not a trace of the antigen in her bloodstream. Joseph says, Eastland, they both hated it so much they got a divorce. Oh, yeah. Bashir and Kira. You can give her another hypo, but it would be hard on the baby's metabolism. So she said she'll wait. Aww. She's suffering. She's suffering for her baby. Now, I'm pretty sure that even today, if you had to take a baby out 2 months early, you could. So why didn't Bashir just offer to take the baby out and let it live on the station or raise it somewhere else? So he's making something. He's listening to her try to breathe. Oh, not so. It's not doing so good. Let's see how the baby's doing. Oh, she's even got the blight on her belly. His head's over there. She says it feels like he's turning somersaults in there. His heart's getting stronger. You say another 6 weeks. She says she's never going to make it that long. He can induce labor in 2 weeks. It'll be big enough to deliver by then. You can induce labor now. Put him into Kira's belly, but you just let her leave. Now, Bashir, the other guy is there, painting some stuff on the blight on her forehead. Yosef says, hit the like and sub to Captain Trek. Absolutely. She asked if she's dead. He says, your child will know nothing but peace. He can induce death. No. He deserves a chance to live. And the guy says, the blight will take him in the end. Says, Trevian, says Bashir. I didn't realize you made house calls. He did last time, you idiot. She was concerned that she would be too weak to come to him. He says, I don't understand why you're so obsessed with death. From what I've heard, you've lived with the blight longer than anyone. And he's seen more suffering than anyone. He said goodbye to Agoria. He hopes you'll live long enough to see your baby. He looks at Bashir. It's like, she's not going to. Bradley just remembered how this episode ends. It's a decent ending for this episode. So she's saying he's a kind and decent man. Oh, it looks like she's in labor. He's saying push, now breathe. Don't stop breathing. Now, has it been 2 weeks? We don't know. I'm assuming 2 weeks has passed. He's like, push. 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 You rock solids as bird of prey need to have spies like us on a sad day stream. Doctor, 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 and doctor. And yes, she had the baby. He's like, oh my God. That's why there's no antigens in your system. It's all been absorbed through the placenta. Acoria. He doesn't have any lesions. He doesn't have the blight. Oh, but now he's going to get it when you kiss him. Oh, if only you hadn't kissed your baby. Or hugged him. Oh, she died. She's dead. She's dead, Doc. Now what are you going to do? That baby's not going to walk around and feed itself. You're just going to find some random person to take care of her baby? He said, you found a cure. She says, it's not a cure. But every pregnant woman should be inoculated as soon as possible. Their children won't have the blight. The vaccine is not difficult to make, but to see everybody gets it is a huge task. He said, not a task, a privilege. Can you show him how to make it? He said, I was hoping you would ask that. Yes, let's show the oldest person on the planet, the one most likely to die tomorrow, how to make the life-saving vaccine. Rock's odds is bird of prey. She's worse than dead. Her brain is gone. He's worse than dead, Jim. His brain is gone. His brain is gone. Ah, look at, behold this baby. Even you young children, you're all going to die. But this baby will live a lot longer than all of you here. Don't cry to your mommies. There's nothing they can do about it now. Bashir is still trying to find a cure. He's back on the station. He's still trying to find a cure. It's like, Doctor, I read your report. Good work, says Cisco. Viral reproduction, normal. So this entire episode, aside from the first couple minutes, we never came back to DS9. There was no real B plot. I mean, the only part of the B plot was the very, very beginning. That's it. So yeah, there wasn't a hell of a lot of Odo. There wasn't a lot of Quark or Worf, or even Kira for that matter. Though there was more Kira than the rest of them. This was it. And then we got one short scene with Cisco at the end. And that's it. End of episode. This really wasn't an A plot, B plot. This was like an A plot, C.5 plot. Thomas Potts is bird of prey. He didn't study the vaccine for 5 years. No, he gave up. He only studied it for another week. After a week, he decided that there was no cure. Eastland says the fan of death, and is going to hoard the treatment and become emperor of the planet. Robert Rose Jr. says, bird of prey, the quickening is what happens between two immortals. When one loses their head, there can be only one. Monty's Folly says, bird of prey, I like this episode. It's an 8 out of 10 in my book, because it shows Bashier off well, and also shows the Federation tech isn't always good. It was pretty good. It just wasn't perfect. Rock Solid says Bird of Prey. So was the So this is where Orange Mad Bad came up with Operation Warp Speed. I don't think so. Ion says Bird of Prey. This was the episode that they forgot was a generic superhuman. He was a genetic superhuman with super intelligence. Well, they didn't forget Ion. He hadn't yet come out as a superhuman. Okay, it had yet to be written into the script. So as far as anybody's concerned, Bashier is just a normal human being at this point. I believe it's not till next season that we get the superhuman study or whatever it is. Eastland says Bird of Prey did not understand Blade Runner, and you're going to explain Highlander and in chat. No, this is true. Bradley Blake says Eastern Burkholder, I just do what Data did on TNG. Put a bucket full of Cure Town in the water supply. That's what you got to do. Neon Knights says Bird of Prey. Hail Bird in chat. Figured I'd stop and seeing you folks watching Real Trek. Yes, Qapla, Neon Knight. Every Wednesday we watch some Real Trek. We should call them Real Trek Wednesdays, but they're DS9 Wednesdays, as we're watching DS9 in order. We've been watching since season 1, episode 1, Emissary. We just finished up with season 4, episode 24, The Quickening. And next week's episode is Body Parts. That's the episode where Quark thinks he's dying. And as all good Ferengis do, he puts his body parts up for auction. And Brunt buys them all. And then he finds out he's not dying. But Brunt is there to collect, because a contract is a contract is a contract. And all he'll take is Quark's body parts. So, yeah. Big Ferengi episode next week. And this Saturday, for Cinema Saturday, is Michael Douglas in Falling Down. Great movie. Really speaks, even though it's an old movie, it's still relevant. One of my old favorites, Falling Down. Always felt bad for Michael Douglas in that movie. And then Sunday is the final Futurama direct-to-DVD movie for Sunday. And tomorrow they'll be working on my water heater. Hopefully they'll be done by afternoon. But I will try to get on with an afternoon open line stream or a gameplay stream. Maybe we'll do Risk or something tomorrow. But we should be okay for a Risk stream come tomorrow. And if not, then Friday, of course, will be Bed Life as usual. Joseph says, how much are your body parts on the black market? Nobody wants my body parts, Joseph, trust me. They wouldn't take my kidneys. The kidneys produce kidney stones. I'm not allowed to give away a kidney. They don't take your kidneys if they produce kidney stones. And I'm sure all my other organs are so sick and degenerated, nobody'd want them. Eastland says, agreed, this is what birds should do. And water heater. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this episode sounded better and looked better for everybody. This is the source I'm going to use from now on. So it's a little extra work on my side, but I think it's well worth it. And we're going to call it a stream. Qapla all. Bird out, and I will see you guys out there on someone else's stream. Qapla. Thank you all for watching my video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out birdofprey5.com, the new home of everything Bird of Prey 5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/birdofprey5 or on birdofprey5.com. Take care.